pirates, no pun intended, she's a whole different person. Seriously, she's still insanely tall, but she's way slimmer. We can actually see her neck, and yeah, she actually looks good. But fast forward to today, and, well, how did this even happen? Well, yeah, we all know she's obsessed with food, so I guess she just couldn't stop eating. Because now she's huge, her neck is gone, her nose is hooked, and honestly, she just looks like a monster. So yeah, she's absolutely negative 100%. But moving on, we've got Kokoro, and she's at negative 70%. If you didn't know, Oda confirmed that this is what Kokoro looked like when she was younger, and yeah, she was this beautiful mermaid. Fast forward to today, and well, things have changed a lot. These days, Kokoro's overweight, has this weird frog-like smile, and her mermaid tail has split into 2 legs since she's an ice fish mermaid. The Straw Hats even said she looks like a dugong, and let's be honest, that wasn't a compliment. Even poor Sanji's dreams of beautiful mermaids got absolutely shattered by the image of Kokoro after she saved the crew. However, her change sadly kinda makes sense, as after Tom got imprisoned and she thought Frankie died, Kokoro fell into depression and started drinking a lot. Anyway, next up, let's talk about Curly Dadan at minus 30%. We actually get a glimpse of how she looked when she was younger thanks to one of her dreams, and this is actually how she used to look. Slim, kinda stylish, and still rocking that curly orange hair. But fast forward to today, and well, she's not this slim woman anymore. Just like Big Mom, her neck disappeared, and the years really haven't been kind on her. But honestly, she doesn't even have the old age excuse, as she was only 43 when Garp dropped off Ace, and by then she'd already glowed down a lot. However, I can't slander her too much as we all love her. So let's just continue and talk about Gecko Moria, who's at negative 25%.
Bro, coola don dress beku. Matte budget nal beku.
Torsi.
Show me more, trendy.
Show me more.
Sakkat.
Torsi.
Wow, inta vibe na makeup beku. Aatre budget nal beku. Metallic, torsi more.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಇನ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಆನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಮೆಜಾನ್ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಮೋರ್.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರೆಸ್ ವಿಷಯ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪ್
ಓಕೆ
ಆಯ್ತು ಓಕೆ
ಕರ್ಲನ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇತ್ರದ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಿಬ್ಬರ ಬೆನ್ನು ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
Kurlon, pick your perfect beginning.
If you didn't know, Moria used to be an absolute giga-chad, as he was actually Kaido's rival. Yeah, seriously, the two even clashed in Wano way back in the day. Moria was jacked, ambitious, and really strong. But fast forward, and now he's an avocado. Yeah, after losing to Kaido, he decided to build an army of zombies to one day get revenge on the Emperor. But that didn't go great either, as he literally lost to pre-time skip Luffy, and yeah, that's just a really sad glow down. He became fat, lazy, and wanted his undead minions to do everything for him. So while Kaido kept rising, Moria just became weaker. Moving on, we've got Stussy Buckingham and Gloriosa at minus 15%. These two badass women were part of the infamous and scary Rocks Pirates, and they were both known to be incredibly beautiful. Stussy might not have been a fighter, but she was still super important to the crew, and Gloriosa was just a powerhouse. And fun fact, these two women were both around 40 during the God Valley incident, and they still looked amazing. But yeah, fast forward to today, and they've shrunken. Literally. In classic Oda fashion, they've turned into tiny, cranky granny trolls. Like seriously, what does Oda have against grannies? Sure, they're in their 70s now, but Rayleigh's even older and he still looks amazing. So they have to be at least negative 15%. Anyway, let's now talk about Shinobu, as she's actually got a 0% glow-up percentage. Back in the day, Shinobu was literally known as the Man Killer, as she was a stunning kunoichi who had enemies falling for her left and right. However, fast forward to the Wano arc and her slim figure is gone, and people don't even recognize her anymore. Like when she met Hanzo, he straight up thought she was someone else. But yeah, he got hit with the feared Ninpo Ball Crusher. So lesson here, guys, don't ever call her ugly, because your balls will get destroyed. So anyway, why is she at 0%? Simple. She literally turned back to her old appearance. After getting hit by Aramaki's Woodwood fruit attack, her body shriveled up, but that also made all that extra weight disappear. So boom, back to Bombshell Shinobu. So as she literally turned back time, she's at 0%. And staying at 0%, we actually got another character, and that guy is Senor Pink. Back when he was around 30, Senor Pink had that mafia boss look going on. Slim, clean-cut, dark suit, shades, yeah, he looked like a total badass. However, fast forward to after the heartbreaking loss of his son and his wife falling into a coma, everything changed. Because the only thing that made his wife smile was seeing him dressed like a baby, so that's what he did. Even after her death, he kept wearing the baby outfit, showing just how much he loved her. But yeah, he did gain a bit of weight, so I know a lot of you guys would say he should be way lower than 0%. But come on, it's Senor Pink we're talking about. I'm not taking any disrespect to this man, so let's just move on. Now I promise this is the last person at 0%, because we've got to talk about Nico Robin. She showed up at Whiskey Peak as this mysterious, super badass woman with that iconic hat. And honestly, she's still this same badass woman now at Egghead. But I'm including her here to ask you guys, has Robin had a glow up or a glow down? Because we all know the true change that happened to her. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, moving on, we've got Shanks with 25%. Remember back in the Romance Dawn arc when Shanks saved Luffy from the Sea King? Yeah, he was already a total badass. Like, he didn't even flinch when he lost his arm. But let's be real, he did not look like a Yonko back then. He was skinny, and a lot of people say he didn't even have a neck. And honestly, I see it. So fast forward to today, and he now definitely looks like an emperor. He's built, he's sharp, and just his hockey alone can send admirals running. Oh, and his neck is now much wider, so I'm pretty sure he spent all his off-screen time training his neck. Now, with a 50% glow-up, we've got Usopp. This guy literally had 0 muscles on his entire body. Like, none. And combine that with how he'd just panic, scream, and hide during battles, and you've got one of the least scary pirates ever. But fast forward to post-time skip, and Usopp shows up at Saba Odi looking like a whole new man. He's gotten a ton of muscles, longer hair, he's noticeably taller, and he's definitely tougher. Like he just put the fake straw hats in their place instantly. We all thought, okay, he's finally a badass now. But nope, he's still a wimp, so he can't be higher than 50%. So instead, moving all the way up to 90%, we've got Kaido. Why? Well, the first time we saw Kaido, this is what he looked like. Yeah, seriously, this was his silhouette back in episode 570. But fast forward to his actual reveal, and is this even the same character? He now instead looks like an absolute monster, a massive, terrifying beast with horns. So yeah, I think we're all pretty happy he didn't turn out having that blob look, and instead looking like a scary badass emperor should look like. Staying at 90%, we've got Helmeppo, and this guy seriously had one of the worst haircuts of all time. Like, this weird mushroom style is just not it. On top of that, he was this lanky, spoiled little brat with a cleft chin and the worst attitude ever. He literally used to threaten people with execution just because his dad was a Marine captain. But fast forward to today, and he's completely different. After going through Garp's intense training, Helmeppo got jacked, grew way taller, and most importantly ditched his mushroom hair, and instead just grew it out. He's also matured a lot. Like, he even calls his past self a bratty, selfish son who lived off his father's status, which is actually facts. He's also got some serious skills now, rocking those dual kukri blades, and he's a lieutenant commander and a member of SWORD.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರಿಶ್ರಮದ ನಂತರ ಯಾಕೆ ನಾನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೇದಿತ್ತು.
ಇನ್ನು ಚಿಂತೆ ಬೇಡ.
Sure, he cried when Luffy and Zoro didn't recognize him, but honestly, I think he should take that as a compliment. Now, let's talk about Duval, who's at 95%. This guy looked exactly like Sanji's awful First Wanted poster, except his eyebrows curled down instead of up. He looked so bad that even his own parents thought he was an ugly baby. But fast forward to when Sanji literally rearranged his entire face with his kicks, and boom, Duval went from meme to model. Sure, he struggles to wink and his eyes don't always blink together, but he doesn't care. He's obsessed with his new face and even introduces himself as handsome. Like he says, "Hello, I'm handsome." But yeah, Silver's Rayleigh's glow up is even crazier, and that's why he's at 98%. Now, I know what you're thinking, who is this guy on the screen? Well, that's Rayleigh. No, I'm not kidding, that's really him. We actually see him in episode 8 punching Shanks and Buggy in the head, and I really don't know why he's got black hair, and what even is that facial hair? Like, this guy does not scream Dark King energy. Well, fast forward, and now he's a badass. The old Rayleigh gets put in the trash while the new Rayleigh with white hair shines. Even if this guy is almost 80 years old, he's still got an insane physique. And don't forget that he literally swam to Amazon Lily from outside the Calm Belt and killed Sea Kings with his bare hands along the way. Now finally, moving up to 100%, we've got Alvida. Although Alvida thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world, we all know that's just not true. But yeah, if you dared to say that she wasn't beautiful, she'd absolutely crack your skull with that massive iron mace. But fast forward, and she's a totally different character. Because after Luffy sent her flying, she ate the Suba Suba no Mi, and boom, she shed all the extra weight from her body and became slim. Instead of her brown eyes, she now has dark green eyes, and she still rocks her original hair. And everyone, even women, just completely fall in love with her on sight, like we saw in Logtown. Her personality is even a bit softer now, but she still thinks she's the most beautiful woman in the world, and she says that the only change the fruit gave her was making her freckles disappear. Anyway, another character at 100% glow-up percentage is Kobe. Yeah, we all remember the scared little cabin boy from the Alvida Pirates back in episode 1, when he looks like a shy 12-year-old kid, right? Although he was in fact 16 at the time, just 1 year younger than Luffy. Anyway, he was this very small pink-haired kid with round-frame glasses who had a timid personality, shaky voice, and looked like he was going to be eaten by Alvida, literally. But fast forward to the post-Ennis Lobby arc, when Kobe makes his comeback again at Water 7 trying to take down Luffy, and wow! How did this even happen? He literally only trained with Garp for 2 months, and now he's literally unrecognizable. And don't forget that he's grown a lot taller as well. I don't know how, but he somehow did. He's also got a badass scar, ditched his glasses, well, he only wears them sometimes, and that scared little cabin boy is gone. Now he's a badass marine who's not afraid to stand up to Blackbeard, and even has the power to destroy Pizarro's island hand by using his honesty impact. So yeah, this glow up is insane. Another character who had an insane glow up is Loki, who's also at 100%. Remember when we first saw Loki's silhouette back when he proposed to Lola and got rejected? Yeah, he definitely looked like a frog. Not exactly what you thought a badass giant prince would look like, right? Well, fast forward to today, and Loki looks epic. Like, just look at this guy. He's truly a giant, with long magenta hair, a sharp goatee, massive horns, and his eyes are covered in bandages. He's definitely got one of the best character designs in the series. This guy is just so cool. Alright, I'll stop glazing Loki, and instead move on to the last character we need to talk about, who's actually at infinite glow-up percentage, and that's Marco. Yeah, I'm serious. That is Marco. I don't know why, but he was definitely in his emo phase. And honestly, he looks like just any random generic pirate. You'd never guess that this guy was the first division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. Like, could you really see Marco flying around in his epic phoenix form looking like this? Anyway, fast forward to today, and he's a completely different character. He ditched the emo look and became a muscular guy with short blonde pineapple hair, and he now just looks badass. So instead of an emo flying around like a phoenix, this looks so much better. Who do you guys think had the best glow up in One Piece? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and watch this video next.
Decathlon. Play light, play right. Visit the store or install the app.
अरे रोहित, हाँ बोलना। तुम्हारी बैटिंग स्टाइल तो देख ली, पर तुम्हारा इन्वेस्टमेंट स्टाइल कैसा?
This video looking like this. One Piece has some of the most insane glow-ups in anime history. Seriously, like we've got people looking like this, and now they're straight up models. So today we'll be giving each One Piece character a percentage of how much they've glowed up. For example, Big Mom, she's at a negative 100% glow up percentage. Like back when we see her at God Valley, rocking up with the Rocks Pirates, no pun intended, she's a whole different person. Seriously, she's still insanely tall, but she's way slimmer. We can actually see her neck, and yeah, she actually looks good. But fast forward to today and, well, how did this even happen? Well, yeah, we all know she's obsessed with food, so I guess she just couldn't stop eating. Because now she's huge, her neck is gone, her nose is hooked, and honestly, she just looks like a monster. So yeah, she's absolutely at negative 100%. But moving on, we've got Kokoro, and she's at negative 70%. If you didn't know, Oda confirmed that this is what Kokoro looked like when she was younger, and yeah, she was this beautiful mermaid. Fast forward to today, and well, things have changed a lot. These days, Kokoro's overweight has this weird frog-like smile, and her mermaid tail has split into 2 legs since she's an ice fish mermaid. The Straw Hats even said she looks like a dugong, and let's be honest, that wasn't a compliment. Even poor Sanji's dreams of beautiful mermaids got absolutely shattered by the image of Kokoro after she saved the crew. However, her change sadly kinda makes sense, as after Tom got imprisoned and she thought Frankie died, Kokoro fell into depression and started drinking a lot. Anyway, next up, let's talk about Curly Dadan at minus 30%. We actually get a glimpse of how she looked when she was younger, thanks to one of her dreams, and this is actually how she used to look. Slim, kinda stylish. And still rocking that curly orange hair. But fast forward to today, and well, she's not this slim woman anymore. Just like Big Mom, her neck disappeared, and the years really haven't been kind on her. But honestly, she doesn't even have the old age excuse, as she was only 43 when Garp dropped off Ace, and by then she'd already glowed down a lot. However,